Welcome to the New Human Podcast. This show is a place where we find out who we truly are and what we strive to be. Qualities include self-development, a shift in values, mental health, physical health, consciousness, and spiritual growth. The concept of a new human refers to an evolving understanding and vision of what it means to be human in the modern era. It encompasses the idea that humanity is undergoing a transformative process, both individually and collectively, towards a higher level of awareness and potential. The new human is often associated with qualities such as expanded awareness, empathy, authenticity, and a deep sense of purpose. It asks those big questions like, who am I? What is my purpose? In this show, the new human seeks to transcend outdated paradigms and limitations, embracing a more holistic and well-versed approach to life. This may include mindfulness and self-awareness, embracing personal growth and self-development, and contributing to the greater good of humanity and the planet. The meaning of the new human is dynamic. It represents a vision of human potential and the possibility of creating a more harmonious and thriving world for all. And now where to find us. We offer services at the New Human Holistic Studio just north of Quasqueton, Iowa. Services include Reiki, which is a Japanese energy healing practice that channels universal life force energy through the hands to promote balance, relaxation, and self-healing. The practitioner lightly places their hands on or near the body, allowing energy to flow where it is needed most, helping clearing those blockages to restore harmony to the mind, body, and spirit. We offer Reiki classes, sound healing, individually and sound baths. Yoga is offered here, divinations, and life coaching. This space hosts many events open to the public. We can be found on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and reached at newhumanhs@gmail.com. And now, listen, as we unravel current history and make our way to a new beginning. I am the new human, Justin Klein. Now, before we dive in, we'd like you to ask to hit, like, and subscribe to this channel and the New Human Podcast. Sandra's a sly fox. You leave hidden messages and like little breadcrumbs everywhere for somebody to pick up and so they can find out themselves.
Yep.
You know?
To be themselves. Don't be me.
Yeah.
How are we going to have you do that?
Yeah.
If you don't listen, you're not going to get them to do it.
Right.
And I listen all the time.
For sure. And that's where I was like, oh, but you also you push somebody at the right second for them to learn something that needs to be learned a certain way, but then otherwise you'll just sit back on the fence and watch us blossom into this beautiful flower.
It's really true. And I remind myself of a bird sitting and watching her children fly.
Yeah.
But she doesn't get down there and fly with them. She watches them fly and protects them.
Yeah. And just listen. Just be quiet.
Yep. Just listen.
And we're going to keep going back in that. Today on the New Human Podcast, we have Sandra Kay back in here. And yeah, we're going to have some great conversations about the third dimension, fourth dimension, and fifth dimension. Our key takeaways on what we think they are and ways to help you transition, get out of your own head, all of that stuff. So Sandra, I'm going to go in here and give to our listeners third dimension and what this all means. So I go back to, we talked about it earlier, like the 90s cartoons where two-dimensional beings are just like stick figures. And if you remember Scooby-Doo back in the day or whatever, it was all 2D. It wasn't third dimension. It didn't have depth. That's a good physical way to, for all the listeners out there, for you to understand that. Now, third dimension, like we talked about, is depth. It's very holding on to something. You see what you see. Sandra's here with me right now, and we're holding on to these beautiful microphones. and I have my cup, and it's very third dimension. I can feel it. I can hear it. All this stuff is all 3D. Do you have anything to add to that?
And I never really thought of 1D and 2D because I always thought it's the children growing,
Yeah,
and it really is children.
yeah,
And when you don't really come alive, I mean, alive, but you don't really become what you think you are until you get into 3D. You're in
s-
the human part of it now.
right.
And I've always thought that way of it. Like you say, cartoons and stuff,
Yeah,
they're growing. They don't
right.
know who they are.
Correct. They're just developing. You're
Right.
just so you're
Use your boys for example. You can see them growing.
yeah, for sure. And compared to that's a great example. We have a 1-year-old, almost 2, going into and our 10-year-old is he's starting to buy more into the system as he should, like as far as like schooling and government and rules and regulations. But my 1-year-old, almost 2-year-old's like, "Ha look at me," like, "I don't care what I do,"
I'm a
and
little terrorist.
yeah, hit your head or pinch you, pull you, like, he's just doing what he's doing because he doesn't know, and he's just there, just
Yep.
doing it,
Time to grow.
Yeah, so he's growing, and then as my 10-year-old now, he's developing and maturing. He's stepping into the analytical side where he's more in his head and not so much more about play, or just being one with whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because
He
at
is.
that point, you're going to school now, you're getting what I would say, like, plugged back into the system. You know what I mean? You're learning certain things, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're developing your own persona,
Yep.
you know?
And he is.
Yeah.
And he's changed so much in
Mhm.
such a short time.
Yeah. So that's the three-dimensional side of it is everything we're living into, but also one thing that I thought about was, like, our chakras, like the root chakra, the sacral, and then the solar plexus. Now there's 3 right there, okay.
Right.
So and now I'm relating these 3 chakras to 3D. If we go into the root, it's very when that's off, like, fear-based and surviving, and, that's kinda what 2D and 3D is. You're just surviving, like, if the tiger's getting you, or do I have enough money to pay my bills? Am I pretty enough to go to school? That's all that stuff really what it is.
Yep. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Growth time.
and then when you step into your heart, the heart chakra, the 4th chakra, the 4D, 4th dimension, can you touch on
Okay.
4D, what you think that all is?
Well, D to me is a bridge. I've always wondered why I called it a bridge, but it's what I believe. And probably how I learned it from my grandmother.
Mhm.
Probably where it comes from. But I think it's the time you either cross that bridge and go to a higher realm and become who you really need to be, or you stay on that bridge and be stuck. And that's where people that die are there. Angels are there. Everything's there.
Mm.
Some people can't get out of that and go on.
Why do you think they just stay there? Because I'm gonna touch on that quick too, like 4D, like transformation
Mhm.
stage. Why do they stay in just the transformation state? What's your opinion on that?
Nobody taught them. Nobody showed them the way to go, how to get out of there.
Mhm,
And they don't believe they're dead. Suicide,
mhm.
and not to bring suicide in, but suicide does that.
Yeah.
They don't know they're dead. And you've had your experiences with suicides, and they just don't. They hide like under a bench,
Mhm.
thinking, I'm not dead. Why am I here? What do I do now?
Do you think it's because like, happened so
Yep.
suddenly?
Like,
You know what I mean? Like, even if somebody instead of, like, suicide, but maybe let's just say somebody got murdered.
yeah, or an accident,
Yeah, an accident.
impact.
Yeah, like a huge one, like,
They
you
don't know
think
they died,
yeah,
and they get stuck right there on 4D.
yeah.
And I don't know how they get out of it. They haven't told me how do they get out of it.
In 4D, so for all our listeners out there, like we're just going through awakening stages is again 3D to 5D and awakening stages. And you get into those transformation stages where you're changing, which is a step forward. You're starting to realize who you are, but then you become so fixated on transforming. You just want to keep, "Oh, well, I still need to heal this. I need to heal that. And then time goes on and that's all you're doing. And instead of just living,
In 4D, you mean?
in 4D.
One thing I think too, they think they have to help somebody else
Yeah.
instead of thinking about themselves.
Right.
You can be selfish.
Yeah.
Just, if I don't stay here and help them, they won't make it. That's not true.
Right. Well, just even being selfish, though, like, I think the problem or stigmatism we get on that is, like, many of us were raised like, well, to give, 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 give. And, like, don't take care of yourself. I think this 4D and going into 5D and this new era or evolution we're going into is about you now. It's about me now. And that's not selfish. It's we have to take care of ourselves.
Well, one thing is,
Yeah.
you taught your first Reiki class. How do you feel about that in the 4D? You
Hmm.
still taking care of people that you taught. And so you need to let them
Go.
fall, let them fall down and pick
Yeah.
themselves up.
Yep. And let them,
You want to pick them up.
yes, but just let them do their own mistakes and just let them help. Just as like teaching, like teachers. I mean, if your teachers that aren't very advanced are giving you the answers. They're the ones that are just telling you what to do, like, here's this, or go get this. But the good teachers, the wise teachers, are the ones that are like giving you clues,
Yep.
and letting you find them.
Breadcrumbs to the
Yes.
little birdies.
Yes, find the answers yourself, because we don't want, at least I don't want to, when I'm teaching anything, whether it's just talking on this podcast or whatever, I don't want my views affecting your beliefs or anything like that. These are just words and messages that if you hear something that hits just right, stay on that tone and run with that, and but make it your own. Make it your own twist or your own style, make it you.
And don't correct it.
Correct.
That is really a big thing.
Don't correct it.
No, I think a lot of people try to correct things like that because they want it their way. We're not made that way.
Yeah.
I love the difference in us. So many.
Right. So we're in this 4D, we're transforming, and then some of us can get on the other side of that. And what is 5D?
Higher consciousness.
Yeah, higher consciousness
Yeah,
and
like five.
unconditional love.
Yep. And I love 5D.
Yes.
It's higher consciousness.
Yeah.
Love it.
Give us some examples of forms of higher consciousness.
Is it you learn to listen. I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing in 5D is you listen now. You got past that part about I have to talk. I have to tell you how to do it. I have to do this. You listen and listening to them.
Yeah.
A lot of humans have got a lot of good things,
Yeah. And observing.
observing all the time.
Y-
And you take care of the things you need to take care of, like the animals.
For sure. So you go, it's weird how life works, because we were just talking about like taking care of yourself and then trying to take care of somebody else and then going back to taking care of yourself. And then, you know, then now just taking care of a squirrel or not
Mhm.
hitting a fly on the wall, even though it's annoying and buzzing and you want to really swat it bad. But it's like, I'm just going to let him fly along for a little bit, and
Let him out the door.
do his thing. Or even I had that problem with animals now. Like I have a hard time killing animals in general now, where I used to be like a hunter. And it I mean, it always did something to me in the back of my mind. I still had a very loving, compassionate, like, "This is providing for me, thank you." But now it's getting harder and harder, even where, like, Chelsea today, before your sound healing, she had a big spider in one of
I
her
love
sound,
spiders.
yeah, her bowls, and she's like, "I'm inside cleaning," and she's like, "Can you come out here and get the spider out of my bowl?" And I pick it up, on, like, a paper towel, and it's crawling around. It crawled on my hand, then it went back on the paper. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I just put him out here. Like, "No, get it out of here. I don't want it in here," you
I
know?
love spiders.
Yeah, but it's like that instance, like, normally in my past, I would've just squeezed it quick with a paper towel or napkin, but now I see the life in that spider and what it's doing, and it's just there, doing its thing.
Well, it's just like my first great grandson, Joshua came to me. He says, "There's a spider in my toy box. My
Mhm.
dad kills it for me. Come kill it for me." And I took a paper towel down there, put the spider walked right on it. I said, "Then we're going to take it outside."
Yeah.
Why?
Mhm.
Why?
Yeah.
I says, "Because it's got a family.
Right.
It's got a son, a daughter, and a wife.
Yeah.
Take it outside so he can continue on." I asked him where he'd like to put it. He says, "I want him to walk on the grill."
Mhm.
So that's what we did.
Right.
And I said, and now he won't let his dad kill him.
Yeah, especially for kids because 'cause they've seen that now, you know what I mean? And they're programming that, and that goes just hand in hand with, like, teaching our kids,
Yeah.
about or who we want them to be, you know? Uh, just letting them be.
Yep. Respect all life.
Yeah.
That's one thing they got to learn.
Uh-huh. Yeah, whether it's a gnat or a spider.
Spiders a big thing.
Yeah, or
I
or
love them.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he told me the other day, he says, I was little when you told me, yeah, yeah, that don't kill the spiders. And he says, I can pick them up with paper towels and take them outside now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What a lesson.
Right. But it's seeing that, like, life and everything, and that's back on to just reiterate the fifth dimension, unconditional love. Now we're being in our heart center. We're not living in fear anymore. Like, well, I'm just pick on my wife, it's a spider, like, ah. And most people usually react to a spider like, instead of just like, oh, here, grab it and let it go outside versus killing it because that spider's got life now,
Yep. And it's
and
for a reason.
right, and it's experiencing its own thing,
Yep.
and it's just a whole different way of observing life.
And there comes love.
Yeah, where you
Yep.
just, I think you said it best there, where you just sit back, listen, observe,
And you see
and
how talented the spiders are?
yeah,
Can we do that?
yeah,
No. I think
yeah.
sometimes we are the spider and they want to squish us.
Or how many, like, ascended beings are like, "When are you going to wake up? When are you going to get this right?" And it just goes on. They're just sitting there waiting and watching.
Yep. And they do.
Yeah,
Dropping us little hint, breadcrumbs.
right. So all this is like a living and it's, uh, a lifestyle, ED where people, I could say, let's say, are going to work right now and you're going to that 9 to 5 job and you are just surviving, just trying to make money and put food on the table, and then you keep repeating and repeating, and you're living in fear. If I don't have enough money to pay this next bill, if I don't have this, that doesn't give them time or the space or the freedom to even get onto the 4D path to start transforming because they're just still surviving. Are you following me
Yeah,
right
there's
now?
a lot of people that way right now.
Yeah. Where you're just surviving. And I know for some of our listeners out there listening to this, like, well, yeah, you don't know what it's like. Like, I mean, I have to get 4 kids ready for school. I have to do this. And then you don't even know what it's like being a woman. I got to do my hair. I got to do my makeup. I got to go do this. And then I got to go do and at the end of the day, there is no time left for me. None. You know? And then you keep repeating that pattern. These are all examples I'm giving to
Yep.
you guys out there, is you just keep repeating and repeating, and there's no time left for you at the end of the day for you to get to these higher states of consciousness now when we go into the 5D and we get to live out of love, and you really get to watch and observe how humans work. How a butterfly works, how a tree or the grass growing, or just how this microphone is picking up my voice and my sound waves right now so you listeners can hear it, like how this all works. It's all connected and it's just very hard though to get out of those bottom 3 chakras of fear because our rules and regulations and governments and humanity, what we've been telling ourselves for which seems like ever.
Okay, I have a question for you. Of
Yeah.
course I do.
Yeah. Yeah, what's your question?
Do you think they even know they're in 3D. Do you
No,
think they know there's more?
no.
That
Not some of them. I think as globally, like, as a like, whole collective, I would say yes, but I am saying the ones, like, right now, they don't know. They're just doing it, and they don't have enough courage and willpower to explore finding themselves.
and they stay there, stuck because
Yes.
they think this is all there is.
Right. But I think deep down, like, when they're dreaming at night or they hear a song on the radio that just hits right and they cry or they lose a loved one and see, like, let's say it's a cardinal that comes in and flies by their face real quick and say hello, or a hummingbird, or hello, look at me. Like, that gives them a deeper sense of purpose, and I think at that one moment they're like, there's more out there.
More out there.
You know what I mean?
And
That
when
fit.
they see the cardinal come by and they
Yeah,
say, "That's from my dad." Now they've got to be awakening right there.
exactly. And that's where I'm going at, or my answer for it, I guess, is yes and no. Uh, I do that a lot now that I'm thinking about it, and I think of my name like Justin, like, to be just, like, just justifying, like, seeing the good on one side of the coin, but also seeing the good on the other side of the coin, and that there's this always going, never right, never wrong process. There's always a little something to look at here to find a deeper meaning and purpose.
I think don't a lot of people don't start waking it up until they get close to 40 years old.
Yeah,
I think it's because
midlife crisis.
yep, and they've raised their children to a point they aren't needed like they was, or their job is more stable and they know they can wake up now.
Right.
There's gotta be some point that they're doing this.
Or you lose somebody dies. That happens a lot.
Yeah, that wakes you up.
The midlife crisis, for people out there, you know, think about this. You're born, you're 1, 2-year old, we just talked about. Then you go to 10 years old. Now you're in school, you're learning, you're getting programmed. Then you're going through those teenage years, which are like very, very rough years. We all
Yeah.
remember those
Oh my
years.
god.
You think you know everything, and then also everybody's out to get you. And then you find your love, you get married, you start a family, and then you go from, like, being so lovey-dovey with each other and it's just you 2 to now you have a child you're raising and you're trying to lead them and guide them, and then
Feed
time.
them,
Yes, feed them,
get
and
a
then
roof over their heads,
right, and and
everything.
and you're okay, and you're surviving. You're surviving because at this point, this 1 or 2-year-old, is like, "Mama, dada, I need this. Ah, help, help, help." And you're trying to get food going, and then the sink's going, and then the dog's barking, "Hey, can you let me out?" All this stuff is happening at one moment, which seems very chaotic.
And why do you think that does that?
At that moment,
Yeah.
well, it's testing you.
Yes.
And that's where I'm saying with the 5D state, we talked about, like, I feel like with me, I've been in 5D for quite some time, and I'm learning how to stay there more permanently for reasons like that, where there's so much going on. And to all the listeners, again, everything I just said there, like, it's a lot. I get that. And life can be a lot. And it can just be a lot to go to work or even look in the mirror at yourself can be frightening sometimes. But once you start really looking within and transforming and being calm when that chaos is happening, that's D. You're now looking at your life happen from different eyes, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
You know?
That's the way I look at things now.
Yeah, where you can let the kid screaming and crying, the dog barking at you because he needs to go outside, the water's getting ready to pour out of the sink, the food is on fire at the same time, like, all of that stuff seems very chaotic, but how you manage to, okay, I'm going to open this door up and then there goes the dog. Now I'm going to tend to my kid because he wanted that toy because it was too high for him to get. Now he's good. shut the water off so it's not coming out anymore. Or I could be screaming, "Oh my God, like, what the heck is going on? Like, get out of here, you dumb dog," and this and that. And
Yep.
like, give me a minute, like those are states, like I could have just went into that 3D state of I'm pissed off, I'm scared, and letting my emotions take over.
Clean up your mess.
Yes.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. Or
Ye
just like, you know what? Here I am,
Yeah.
Like I did it today. I was cleaning and I'm like, tell my wife, "I don't like to clean. I think it's the biggest waste of time, to clean." And I'm like thinking about it because I mean, I like nice things though, don't get me wrong. But when I'm doing it, I'm like in a meditative state, too. So I'm like, I'm just, like, not even paying attention to scrubbing something when I'm doing it, and I'm like, "Do I really not like it?" Because I'm just sitting here doing something, and now I'm in my own head doing whatever I'm doing, and then the time's gone and it's cleaned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's, ways you look at stuff, like, I went into that, like, "I do not like this," to going into it and being in the moment doing it,
So you had emotions of
Yeah,
distaste because you did not like it. You
right.
told yourself that.
I did, but then I got into it and I did not mind it. I was like,
Yeah.
"This isn't so bad. Now I'm cleaning this. Now I'm doing, putting it away." And then I got to be ready in 30 minutes for my podcast with Sandra, you know, but it was one of those things. It was a story I was telling myself. So instantly it was making me not like it. But then when I finally gave in and just relaxed and sat in the moment and just watch myself clean this, it wasn't bad, you know?
Is every Friday I do the bedding. I used to hate it. I don't care. I know I do the bedding on Fridays. So as soon as I get up at 5 in the morning, I rip the bed apart. I do
Right,
the bedding, all the dogs' bedding,
right.
and it's done.
Mhm.
And it's folded. It's put back on the bed.
Yeah. So when you go through those states, like we just took you on a little whirlwind there, where I went into something I didn't like, but then I found a reason that it wasn't so bad, and then I ended up enjoying it a little bit because now I was in my own headspace and was just enjoying how I was. These are all states of consciousness and states of being, whatever you focus your attention on becomes your reality, becomes what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just based on what you're
It's the simple things in life that makes life.
yeah,
And it really is. So you don't like cleaning. Now you went a different attitude with it and you cleaned. I didn't go a different attitude. I did the bedding and it's
right.
done already.
Yeah,
I don't have to go home to that.
r so with just being the 5D, it's, now that we kinda put a label on it, what we think this is or what we feel is
Inner peace.
yes, inner peace.
That's what it is to me. That's
Yeah,
my, but I don't want you guys to take my opinion on it.
yeah.
Be-
Well, it's I mean, I think it is too.
Yeah.
Love,
Yep.
you
Just
know?
love and inner peace.
Right.
Be kind. Always be kind.
So what comes after this?
I've been wondering, but I think I'm in 5D and I'm not leaving. I'm not going backwards ever again. I
Yeah.
really do believe I'm holding space up there. And what comes after 6, I think there's 13 Ds.
Mhm.
I wonder what comes after this anyway.
Yeah.
Because can't you imagine if you got this, what's next?
Right.
What possibly could be next?
Yeah. I mean, short of us, yeah, I mean, becoming light beings, I mean, but then can you hold enough space to like be in this body? You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like, I just like had this feeling of like judgment, okay, from maybe some listeners right now that are like, what the heck are these guys talking about? You know? But then also, like, thinking about, okay, I'm just gonna say his name, Jesus, this figure that has so much, power, and we worship and praise him and do this, and my Jesus, like, when I think of Jesus, he was, kind of a hell raiser, pot stirrer, and talking about things like this, but people didn't understand him, and he was interpreted.
Do you not think that Jesus, when he was a younger person coming up, wasn't a pot stirrer
Yeah,
because he wanted us to wake up? I
Right.
believe he did that.
Right.
And as he got older, he became more mellow.
Yeah. Wiser with his
Yeah,
words.
because I believe he was a hellraiser.
Right.
He had to be. How could he get our attention?
Right. Do you think, though, like putting people on such a high pedestal like that leaves them, though, in that 3D state?
Oh, yeah.
Because now you're looking for something and you're not really looking within, like you're, well, this guy's better than me, he did die for me, and he's going to come back and save me. Okay. Like, I know you're looking at me like, what? No, I know, but no, seriously, some
Seriously.
people are listeners out there. There are many people around even our area here that's like they still believe that. Like Jesus is going to come back and save us and he's going to, clean my sins, and all this stuff where it's again, you're giving your power away. You know what I mean? Because you're just worshiping something so much that it's not like, why aren't you worshiping what's inside of you? And that's where he was going was, I can do these amazing gifts and abilities. Yes, I have the power to do it, but so do you.
And he never asked us to worship him.
Correct.
Not ever.
Yeah.
He just said, I'm going to show you the way, just like any teacher does. They
Yes.
show you the way.
But then it gets, as a story does, as we're telling right now, they're listening. And then somebody else, they might just, hey, did you listen to this podcast? And then that story gets altered and changed a little bit,
Yes.
and then 2,000 years have passed since Jesus, has died for us. And how many generations is in 2,000 years? Like that's, I mean, probably hundreds,
Oh, God, hundreds. Yes.
hundreds of different generations. So think about how many times that story got changed,
Oh, yeah.
twisted, you know, controlled,
And
and now it's like I'm telling a story about my Jesus, and now I'm changing the story. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
Like right now, if somebody could be listening to this and they're like, maybe he's right. Maybe I should look within and not. Maybe I should worship you know, maybe I'm strong and I have this ability now to control what I do in my day. I have this ability to help heal people. That's what
Yeah.
Jesus was doing, you know?
I just think that Jesus didn't want it this way.
Right.
I really believe that he said, look within.
Uh-huh.
I'm teaching you that. And
Yeah.
there's some great people that have done that. And then there's some people that uses it for a weapon. That's a whole different story.
I was thinking when you were saying that, I was like, even like Martin Luther King, was another guy that was in the fifth dimension. He's living out of love. He had this vision, you know what I mean, of where he was just stepping out. And it didn't matter what he said. He believed in something so much, which it was true. He just wanted, equality for black people, white people. I'm the same, you're the same. And he had this message, no different Jesus, I have this gift or these abilities, and so do you. We're all the same humans. Oh, but then there comes a time where there's a mass teacher like Jesus, like Martin Luther King, like,
John F. Kennedy.
yeah.
I like John F.
But then what happens to these guys?
Kennedy killed.
They get killed
Yeah.
because people are scared living in the 3D. They don't like, what? Just like thinking about those guys, like the Jesus and the Martin Luther King, JFK, like they were they were weird, strange beings. They weren't like everybody else. They were the guys that were ruffling up the pot. But what were they doing? You know what they were doing? Doing what we're doing right now.
Yep. And they are here to save us. I believe them three, they came to save us. And Martin Luther King showed it that we were all equal.
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy's stopped a war in Vietnam because he said no.
Do you hear though what we're doing right now? That's what we're doing. We're sharing a story right now of this 3D, 4D. We're connecting dots from Jesus to Martin Luther King to JFK to Buddha to all of them out there. These These are all special beings that were ascended masters, or if that's what you want to call them, high entities, because they were just trying to teach us the ways of how to do this, you
They
know?
didn't want us to follow them. They wanted us to look within and become who we need to be to help others.
Yeah. Just be you.
Yeah, that was all. So simple.
All right. So we're transitioning into this 5D. Mother Earth is too. She was getting, spit on for eons and just being there and trashed and poison put into her and all this other stuff. And maybe some volcanoes are going off now and earthquakes are happening and mass tornadoes and hurricanes and all this chaos is happening from her
And the
because,
winds, I
yeah,
can't
the
believe the
winds.
winds.
Yeah. Do you think she's transitioning into this 5D as well to hold space for this higher level of
Oh, I
consciousness?
definitely think so. I think she's saying when the winds come like that, don't make me sweep you away from there. Pay attention now. I'm
Yeah,
tired.
yeah, yes. Think for themselves. What happens when you start thinking for yourself like that and believing within, and then what?
Then they're outcast you.
Yeah?
Put you on the outside, but some won't. Some woke up.
Mhm.
Some will, but some will say she's just crazy.
And then that's okay.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
Right. Because I tried telling my son that the other day. He was like to me, like, well, my hair was long, and I got a haircut. And he was like, Dad, when are you going to cut your hair? You're different. Like, why? Like, men don't have long hair, and I'm, like, thinking to myself, like, "Well, bud, like, 2,000 years ago, all men had long hair. It wasn't until the Romans that came along, and they chopped their hair off because then it was an advantage to them where you couldn't pull the other man's hair, and now he had short hair, so he had the advantage, and then that just became the new norm." Again, this is coming from the Romans, which Christianity came from the Romans as well. So all of this stuff is coming there and we're just following. But then when I go into like me wearing long hair and being kind of an outsider, and I was trying to like tell him that I'm like, buddy, and going to Jesus and Buddha or Martin Luther King, since we keep talking about these figures right now, these guys, Elvis Presley was another one just came to my mind. They were different. They weren't like everybody else. They weren't following other people. They were off doing their own thing, making their own path, and doing, even if what they're doing sounded weird and crazy, but now we're talking about these individuals because they were onto something, and that's what I was trying to tell my son Emmett, like, buddy, just because I'm not like everybody doesn't mean that I'm onto something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or if I was like everybody else, that would be boring.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I was for many years.
And being unique.
Yes,
You are unique.
everybody is unique, but once they get that opportunity to shine and tell them, really let themselves shine, like, hey, this is me. I'm not putting on this fake persona anymore.
Like my hair long.
Yeah, it's pretty life changing.
And he's not that stage.
No.
He wants to fit in. That's the
Yeah.
stage he should be at.
Well, that's where I'm saying that's we now circling back from the baby to the kid that's in school now, to now going even to college, to going to work for somebody. Now you're getting boxed in again, and then you're doing the same routine day in and day out. You're getting boxed in again and you're not really thinking for yourself. And then 40 hits and somebody dies, or
Your business crashes.
whatever, something
That
bad
sucks.
happens, then you
Really.
wake up and you're like, "Huh," you know? You
I
can't
will.
yeah, you can't take it anymore. And then you start thinking and start discovering everything like we just talked about, like, I've just been living one big lie, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, was I being genuine or was I, like, putting on all these masks? And then I'm like, "Whoa." Like, looking back at it, it's crazy because you didn't know at the time because you were just doing it because everybody else was doing
Mm.
it. But now when you look back, like, as anybody that's older, you look back on your journey, well, hopefully you're doing this, you're reflecting on your way, and seeing the milestones you've went through, the people you look back, you reflect, you've seen you've grown, you're growing, you're going to continue to keep growing. At least that's my wish for humanity, you know, because if we just keep doing the same old stuff and just being stuck all the time, it's not that there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, in my opinion, boring.
Yeah, it's got to start looking more.
Yeah,
There's a lot out there. If you do nothing else, like we talked about spiders, watch a spider web grow.
I
They
know.
can build amazing things.
Yeah,
And I got one in my Reiki room. Heather doesn't like it.
yeah.
And I said, "But I'm going to see how big he gets." And he's in the window and he's growing. But the patterns, everything is precise for them.
When you're paying attention to nature like a sunflower, like when you look at a sunflower, how it's got like this Fibonacci sequence in it, like this perfect spiral of diamonds, and it's never ending, and it goes into like this perfect dot,
Yeah.
and then the sunflower, like in the morning, the sun's coming up and it's facing the east. And then at noon, the sunflower's now facing, 12 o'clock. And then at 5 o'clock, the sun's going down. What's the sunflower doing? It's now facing the west.
And if the sun doesn't come up too cloudy,
Yep.
what sunflowers do, they face each other
Right.
and they live off of each other. And
Right.
that's part of nature. And I don't think everybody knows that.
As you're saying, little stuff like this is again about being in this fifth dimension, is noticing things and being one with them, being aware of them. And I think with awareness comes being connected. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Because now I'm connected to this where I can give you another story here of I was sitting outside swinging underneath our big oak tree before I came in, and I was so connected to this tree, and my feet were barely grazing the grass, and the grass had a little humidity on it, so it was cooling my toes, and I was just feeling the wind hit my face, and I was so connected to everything in that moment where 5 years ago I was working hard and just needed a breath to breathe. Not saying I don't work hard now, but I would have been sitting there swinging just to take a moment to breathe. I wasn't connecting. I was just breathing and shutting my eyes and relaxing, you know? Now I'm connecting.
With what's around you. Much.
I'm awake. I open my eyes and there's a squirrel running. There's an acorn that's falling and hitting me in the head. You know what I mean? There's a car that goes by. I can hear the cardinals tweeting, and I can hear the different birds, and I can pick out which bird is making that sound.
Wow,
Yeah, yeah. Or
I
eagle
love it.
flies by in the distance, and I can hear it screeching. It's paying attention to all the feeling. That's another thing with this fifth dimension. It's a feeling. It's it's a smell, it's the sound. It's like being so connected with everything that you become it.
My grandma used to say, "Can you not hear the flowers growing?" And I would look at her like, "What?"
Yeah.
But I can hear them growing now, and they
Yeah.
have a way to keep coming and growing. In my pavement where the dogs run, there's a crack. Well, it's just the way it was laid. And I like moss roses. I got no moss roses in my flower bed, and I don't know why this year, but they didn't come back. But in that pavement where the doggies are is a moss rose growing. So why is it right there? But you can hear it.
Right.
I'm right here. You looking for me?
So, with all
Look.
this being said, we could sound crazy or we could sound enlightened. You know what I mean? Like, holy smokes, these guys really are connected to stuff. And let's say somebody out there is thinking that, where they're like, these guys are onto something. How do I start to think like them? How do I start to connect with things like that? How does one do that?
How would you think they stop and listen? The biggest thing is just listen now.
Stop and listen.
Listen to the human race, what they're saying. Don't listen to the words,
Yeah,
what they're honestly saying behind them words. You can hear that.
right.
Everybody can hear the words behind. They just don't do it.
So what I'm hearing when you're saying that is tone. It's a certain tone
See,
that you can listen to, which breaking down tone is like vibration, color, noise, knowing. It's everything. Tone is one of those words in the English language that has 100 different meanings.
Yep, and it's in everybody.
Yes.
Yes, like the flowers.
Yes.
When grandma used to ask me, I used to think she was crazy.
Or when you're toning after a Reiki
Yeah,
session and you're sweeping the body and you're doing your tone in Native American, that's what you're doing.
right.
And it's your volume and your prayer coming out of your vessel. And, you know, now that I'm just saying this, but when I watch you and I listen, really listen to when you're doing it, and it gives me goosebumps, and it's because 'cause I'm vibrating and connecting with what you're doing, and the client too at the same point, you can feel like or I can watch their body almost, like, shake a little bit because they're feeling that resonance from your voice.
And they get lightheaded. They
Yeah.
really get lightheaded. They're so lightheaded.
So, and that brings us to another example of that. In the fifth dimension, your state of consciousness is getting higher, which would be like a higher frequency, which to break that down would be like a woman that can scream a very high pitch. And if you think of that in waves terms, it's like very fast paced. Like if you're at a doctor's office and you're listening to your heartbeat, it's like boom, 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 boom. And then you can go into a lower state of consciousness and the waves and the sounds are more like boom, 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 and they're longer bandwidth. If yes. So that's where we're talking about all of this 5D, 3D is they're just states of being. And how we get there is I love your advice. Just listen, look within, and be you. And is there any other things that can help?
But sometimes I just want to tell some people, shut up. Just shut up and listen. I mean, that's not being mean or anything like that. It's just you're too busy talking. You don't hear them.
But you're saying, though, when you're saying shut up, get out of your own head or way and listen because there might be a spirit guide or angel or somebody that's talking to you.
And they can't talk to you if you won't be quiet. And maybe they don't want to hear them yet.
Yeah.
Don't know. Be
Paul,
quiet.
what do you think then too? I know, I wanna listen to your answer. We all talk to each other, at least I think we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, "Mm, should I do this or should I do that?" You know what I mean? Like, we all say that, like, there's that voice, like, I'll pick on myself when I was an alcoholic. Like, I'd have 5 beers, 6 beers, I probably shouldn't have another, but god, that 6th one would taste really good right now, and it would make me feel good. I'm gonna have another one, and then it goes to 7, and then it's like, should I do that or should I not?" So I'm having these talks with myself in my head on, "Should I do this or should I not do this?" Like, do you think those are angels talking, or do you think it's I mean, what's your take on
I
that?
think he's your conscious guide.
Yeah.
And we all have them.
Yep.
And they're saying, like, you've seen them pictures of devil's hair, the angel's hair,
Yeah.
and it's your guides arguing
Right.
with you.
Right.
And you know better.
Right.
You need to stop.
Yeah, there's that, Native American story, uh, about the boy, he goes to, like, his
Uh,
grandfather.
um,
Do you know that?
the one you feed.
Yeah, yeah, the wolf you feed.
So you want to feed the devil, you want to feed the angel and go on.
Right, same thing applies,
Lead one.
Right, whatever you keep feeding, if it's the
Kept feeding.
negativity
You
and we're
kept feeding it beer. So
Yes,
you needed to stop feeding it beer.
yes,
Now you don't.
no,
And
you
you're a
know?
good example of that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, so that, it's the law of attraction, and that's how that works is think about this. If you keep having something bad happen and something, let's say you stub your toe on the counter and then the sink's overflowing with water and the dog's barking like crazy. And then somebody crashes out in front of your house and you're just screaming, screaming. You keep creating negativity,
Feeding it.
negativity. Yes, you're feeding
like the
it.
wolves.
You're feeding that, and then it's following you now because you're reflecting it, you know?
Yes.
And then once you start and you take one little step, you take that one stone, throw it into the water, and it creates those ripples in the water now. It's
So no more,
yes,
no more.
no more.
I'm done. I'm going this new path. We all
Yes.
got to get on this path.
This is the path. This is the way that all those peoples, the Jesuses, this is what he was trying to say was look within.
Don't praise me. Look
Yes.
within you.
Yes.
Isn't the story like we're all made in his likeness?
Yes.
Why wouldn't we be looking in? If we are all made like him, then look within.
And to be you, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought that meant, but some people told me, no, that's not it.
Right.
I stayed with that's what it means.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, I've like where we've went today. We gave some good examples, and it's because I've been on that other side, like my state of consciousness now where I can see myself and what I've did, but I've been on the side of skepticism and like, what are these guys talking about? So I know, and that's where I'd like to give examples and, hopefully all you out there that have been listening so far this long, it's really making you question and it's making you think because that's what I'm trying to do right now is trying to get you to think and to think for yourself and not just follow.
And to remember, this didn't happen overnight.
No.
This takes work and time.
Yes.
We all have to grow.
Yes. And with that being said, it's like anything out there, people. Whatever you take time to do and to work on,
Whatever you feed,
yes, you become better. You become a master. You become a master to hone in on that skill. And then you start, like you talked about 5D, and we were talking about Reiki and doing Reiki versus being Reiki or being this fifth dimension or being this unconditional love.
Reiki
It's,
helps you though a lot.
oh, for sure.
Man, does it ever help you in
Yeah,
a
it's kind
way?
of for me anyways, and I can, vouch for you, I think it's the door to opening all this up for you,
Yeah.
you know?
27 years ago,
Yes.
that door opened up and I never left.
But this is something you do every day.
Every day. I love it. I'm a junkie.
That's what I'm saying, you've become it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One.
And then when you become one with that thing and so connected, then you get to have these experiences.
Can I tell you something I really praise about you?
Yeah.
Is that you recognize when somebody's coming in, have a Reiki treatment, or learn Reiki from you, take Reiki 1.
Yeah.
You remember you
Uh-huh.
were there once, and
Yeah.
you remember what it was like. You
Yes.
don't crucify them if they're not doing it
The
what they
right way
should
or
be
or
doing.
or whatever. No, and I think that's the way with teaching in life. You're the same way, though.
Yeah,
You see that. You don't just we
I
talk
was there.
right. We have stumbled. We have made mistakes. We were alcoholics. We were not had some bad skeletons in our closet, did some we're not proud of. But we've also came to terms with those and moved forward, didn't get stuck in those ways, and knew there was something bigger and better out there for ourselves,
And you
and
could
then
teach that way.
and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, just teach that way. Remember who you was. I
Yes.
don't think a lot of people knew I was alcoholic. I was
Right.
black velvet. It was
Mhm.
my thing. I love whiskey.
Yeah.
Don't feed an Indian whiskey.
Yeah, don't no, don't do that. Yeah, well, with anybody, I think as, uh, I'm just gonna say philosophers, talkers, preachers, teachers, who we are, we had to live those experiences so we could talk about them and we could get on their level. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
you said something to me today that I really appreciated hearing coming from you because I knew you grew into it. About your 2 students,
Mhm.
be it man or woman, it don't matter what they was,
Mhm.
you knew the difference, and
Yeah.
you had been there in both of their situation,
Right.
so you could help them.
Yes. I know how they feel.
Yes,
Yes.
and you can help them now.
And with that state of consciousness, call it clairvoyant, clairaudient. There's all these clairs, but I just call it I'm tuned into their station where they have my undivided attention, where I can now almost hear, I shouldn't say almost, I can hear their thoughts. I
Yes.
can feel what they're feeling. But then when you have two people in the same room and one's on this frequency and one's on this, now I have to, me and my friend Bill, our friend Bill, mutual friend, we were talking about this the other day. We were in the car together with our significant others and they're talking and I'm picking up a little bit of their station where they're talking about a story. I'm vibrating with them on it, but then Bill's trying to tell me a story and I'm also vibrating with
Mhm.
Bill. So I'm trying to focus my attention directly on Bill because I want to hear his story and shut that fuzz out. That's all this is, guys, is tuning into each other, turning the fuzz off, the media, Facebook, music, the outside noise, turn that fuzz off and put your full attention on whatever you're doing. Like right now, this conversation,
Yep.
me and you talking, my attention's with you and I'm going and we're telling stories. It's amazing.
Your growth is amazing to me,
Yeah.
and I've watched it,
Well, thank you.
and it's true.
Yeah.
And every time you turn around, I can see a new growth.
I learned from the best.
He's getting it. He's got it.
Yes.
And I always thought I learned from the best with Sister Marlou.
Well, she was a good teacher and then you taught me and you're still teaching me every day.
And you're teaching me, though. I'm
Yes.
learning from you.
Yes. Those are the best teachers, though, the ones that teach each other.
Yep. I
You
learn all
know?
the time from watching you.
Yeah.
You're like a flower. Blossoming.
Blooming. Yes. I think today went wrapping up this session with you, Sandra. People, there are so many things out there to just focus your attention on to get in a better state of being, and that starts with you and how you see your life.
And listening like you did to
Yes.
your child,
Yes.
10-year-old. I
Yeah.
was proud of that. I thought you
Mhm.
listened.
Yes.
That's all I'm asking people to do. Just listen
Listen.
and get yourself out of there.
Right.
Listen.
Take maybe a little bit from what they have to say, take some from what your guides have to say, and then now you interpret that message, you know?
Well,
They're telling you something, but now it's your turn to interpret it. Don't just, go with the first answer of what everybody else is doing or what whoever's telling you this message, what they're saying. Don't just take that for what it is. You question it. You turn it into your own masterpiece.
it's the same thing. I learn a lesson. We're always learning. I will never stop learning. My dogs got into parsnip, and one was got really sores on it. And I went out to rip the parsnip out of there. My guide said as loud as he could to me, "Stop and put your gloves on." Guess who got into parsnip? Lesson.
Yes.
Stop and put your gloves on.
And you even heard it, but you did it.
I did.
Yeah, because that's us humans. That's what we do.
We don't listen.
Yeah, we don't listen.
We know better.
It's just like the addiction of when I was an alcoholic. I loved the beer and I
Right.
kept doing it, but at what point is enough enough? So that's even like just those like big events like, coming. Like I remember when I was getting my Reiki attunement from you, I fasted the day before getting my attunement because I was so excited. And I slept like the night before because I was so excited,
Mhm.
and I could feel it, because it's something. And we do this. Well, I think I did this all my life on a vacation, on a big test for school, on these big life changing event moments that I know I go into preparing before they happen? It's like battle. Like if I'm going into battle, I have to prepare. I don't want to just go and like not be prepared for it? And I hope everybody out there listening, students at school, like you just don't go take a test, you prepare for it,
Yeah.
you know? And this is me, my
Get ready.
body's preparing for this next state of
Yep.
consciousness, this next state of being who I'm going to become, who I'm remembering.
Yes. Absolutely.
Remembering. Yeah. Isn't that weird to think about?
Oh, it is.
to remember? Like, it's like, "Oh, I'm learning, I'm becoming," or is it, "I'm remembering"?
Yeah, that you already are.
Yes, that we already are what we already are. No?
I just like listening, but and you growing
I like watching you grow too.
because I am.
You are.
I'll put my gloves on next time.
Yeah, I see you. I'm watching you. I do. I see you. And
Don't you think, too, you need to tell people that if they don't really understand it, to reach out to someone?
yes, and that being said, that's why we're here, for all you don't know too. It's a podcast about helping people, and that's why we're doing it, because I want people to develop this new state of conscious, to become this new human. If they need help, reach out.
That's a
Yeah,
and we won't judge you.
yes, we do not. We don't judge at all.
Mhm.
We're here to help each other grow and help them learn.
And 10 to 1, we've already
Yes.
done that most of the
Yes.
time.
And we begin to learn from them, and then they become part of us, and then it's just this never-ending circle
Can't
of
get rid of us.
yeah, yeah. So, where do people find out about you, Sandra? Facebook page?
Yeah, Star Sister Reiki.
Star Sister Reiki on Facebook?
Yeah, but I think there's going to be a lot of people going to reach out.
Oh, yeah?
I already know. I can predict that one. I just
Yeah.
and I tell a lot of people about you.
I tell a lot of people about you too.
I know, but I just know you
Thank you.
growing. You do.
Yeah, I was telling our mutual friend, Jim Graywolf,
Ah,
about we were emailing him going, he lives out in Sedona, and we're going to try and connect here next week. And I was telling him about you, for all you listeners out there. Sandra is my teacher, my guide, my mom. This,
I like
I
that
mean,
part.
yes, this everything like you are, you mean so much to me. And I was telling Jim this, how I stated it to him is Sandra is a bridge for many people I've met in this life. And recently I've met some pretty amazing individuals, and I feel so connected to them that I know without a doubt I've been with them. They're part of my soul family. We've been together many, many, many different lifetimes.
We didn't know we
Yeah,
were missing them. That's
yes.
always surprising.
But you're that bridge for me. Like you brought me to Teresa, you're bringing me to Jim.
Oh,
You
Jim is
you know what
I
I
like
mean? Like
him.
all these, and then Teresa brought us to Bill and Ella, and then all these people that are a part of our soul family now. You're holding space, and then we have our group. That's what you are. You are a bridge. I hope you see that. You know, for many, many souls out there, like you get them to the next person,
Where
and
they
then
need to be.
yes, you get them where they need to be,
And it's not
you
always
know?
with me.
Yeah,
And you gotta always remember that. Stay humble there. That it's not always you. You are just the bridge to take them to where they need.
that's right.
And that's what your job is.
Yeah,
Make them the best they can be. It
right,
won't be you all the time.
right. Because that's all we want. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the 5D unconditional love, just creating this heaven on earth,
Yeah.
you
I can't
know?
wait till you meet Jim.
I
I talk
know.
a lot about him. I love. It's just one
Yeah.
of my favorite people.
Yeah, well, I read his books that you gave to me that I got to read, and I feel so connected, just not even have met him, but just I'm connected with him other ways on a different
And that's where you got to tell him he doesn't realize how many souls he touched when he was here. Like
yeah,
Leon, how he helped Leon during his going home,
right.
dying process. It was easier for him.
Yeah,
And then with me, it was easier for me to get out of there. So I didn't live in that time of darkness.
right.
But he doesn't realize what he touched. And to
Yeah,
me, that's a bridge
that is a bridge
right there.
to help you get from point A to point
And
B.
he doesn't even know that. You can tell him that and he'll go, oh, whatever.
Oh, he'll probably listen to this and hear it.
Oh, great.
So you'll actually, you just told him that,
Yeah.
you know?
We just lost somebody, and he was a great man, actor and stuff. I can't think of his name now, but anyway, Jim said something to me about, or if I could just be like him. And I said, don't you think you are? He doesn't see that. I
Yeah.
don't understand that.
Well, it's hard for us to not see who we truly are because we can be seen through your eyes or somebody else's eyes. So we don't see that. It's kind of like listening to your voice on these microphones. I sound different, like having this conversation right now.
Mhm.
But then when I go back and listen to this on the radio or whatever it does not sound like me. And you might be saying, well, no, Justin, that sounds just like you. That's who
Yeah.
you sound like. But then when I hear it differently, it's like, no, that's not me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
who is that?
Yeah.
I always think I sound like I think I sound.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
It is,
Yeah.
'cause I think I didn't know my voice was so low until I listened to it.
And when you are in those moments, though, is because you're so in the present and you're so on the journey. It's not till you get to the destination and you look back at it that you're like, I am like that, I do that, because you don't, it's like somebody losing weight versus like when you're in it every day, you don't really see it because you're in it every day. That's how it is like with when you're saying that to Jim, he's in it
He's
every
doing
day,
it.
but then when you say something like that and it's like, yeah, yeah, you know.
Mm.
So I think that being said, do you have any final words?
Great.
Nope.
For having me.
Yes. I always love having you on here. You get me thinking, and I hop on your station. So it brings out more into me too and what I have to say because I think at sometimes I'm saying what you want to say
Yeah.
through my voice.
Yes, and that's why I listen. So you
Yes.
show me.
I love you very
I love
much.
you.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. We will talk to you later. If you do need help with anything, please reach out. New Human Holistic Studio. We are New Human chess@gmail.com. Reach out to us. We can help you out with any of your holistic needs or just want to talk.
Oh,
So,
we'll
and
find
Sandra's here too
we'll
at,
find the person you need to be with.
yes. So, that being said,
Uh,
you all have a good day.
Bye.
Bye bye. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And remember, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate, reach out to us.